Hi guys, welcome back to Dadlicious Eats, and today we're going to be making a big family favourite, macaroni and cheese. Whenever I make this in the house, the children demolish it. It's gone in one sitting, so I thought it would be a great opportunity to share it with you guys. I have one added ingredient that gives it that little extra twist, and it's using barbecue rub. So without further ado, let's have a look at the ingredient. So to start off with, we have 50 grams of unsalted butter, 50 grams of plain flour, 300 milliliters of semi-skimmed milk, you can use full fat if you like, 400 grams of pasta, any pasta, tube shapes are good, 1 slice of bread, a couple of tablespoons of barbecue rub, you can choose any that you like, 200 grams of mature cheddar, 125 grams of smoked cheese, and 1 ball of mozzarella. So the first thing we need to do is grate all of the cheese. So I like to use mature cheddar because it gives that extra flavour. You can go mild if you're not too big on the cheesiness, but then I would say what's the point of having macaroni cheese? So we grate our cheddar there, and then we're going to cut up the smoked cheese. So this is Austrian smoked cheese. You could use any smoked cheese that you particularly fancy, so maybe a smoked cheddar would work well as well. But cut that up into small pieces. You'll find it might not grate particularly well because the smoked cheddars tend to be a little bit more rubbery. In particular, this Austrian cheese isn't particularly grateable. So let's speed up the camera a little bit. You don't want to see me cutting cheese all day. So once that one is cut up, then we're going to move on to the mozzarella. So absolutely fresh mozzarella. You shouldn't be using the grated kind because it just doesn't melt in the same way. Plus, this is far more delicious, and it's not any more expensive really. You can probably use maybe one of the cheaper own brand types of mozzarella, as long as it's a ball and looks fresh. Right, the next thing to do is get your pasta going, so boil your water, add a bit of salt into it and cook your pasta until it's al dente, so probably 12 to 15 minutes. Make sure you don't overcook it because you want it to keep its structure as it's put it in the oven. So once that's done, you need to get your cheese sauce going. So what we're going to do is make a basic roux here. So we're going to melt our butter in a pan and add in the flour. So the best thing to do here is use a whisk, so whisk this around until it's all combined. And what this does is it's going to help thicken up the cheese sauce. Once that's nicely combined, we will add in the milk. So pour that in and give that a really good whisk until the lumps that you see here have disappeared. Now, I absolutely love making this recipe. It goes well on its own as a weeknight meal, or put some salad with it. It's a great side if you want to add it to barbecued meats or anything in particular, even a roast. So this goes really well, super easy to make. So now we're going to add in the cheese. So you probably want to add in 3/4 of the cheddar, all of the smoked cheese and all of the mozzarella. And again, what we're going to do is whisk this and essentially melt the cheese, and you've got your cheese sauce. So give that a really good whisk once all the cheese is mixed in. And what you should be left with is an awesome consistency. So have a look at this as I lift up the whisk. Look at the cheesiness on that. Now this sauce on its own is great within the macaroni cheese. It would also be perfect to put onto nachos. You could use it as a cheese sauce, maybe use it for cauliflower cheese, broccoli cheese. But there are so many uses, but because of the mozzarella, the way that that's melted, and the smokiness of the smoked cheese, and then just the general powerfulness of the mature cheddar, it goes really, really well and this is probably the perfect cheese sauce that you will ever make. But alas, as much as I would love to keep playing with the cheese sauce, we have to move on. So here we have the rub that I'm using. So this is the Holy Voodoo rub by Meat Church. I like it because it's got a little bit of a kick. You don't necessarily have to add this in. You could also just add in some mustard, but I find a barbecue rub just gives that little bit of smokiness, that little bit of heat, that little bit of sweetness that you want to make a really good macaroni cheese. So moving on, once the pasta has been cooked, we want to drain that, pop it back into the pan, and we're going to pour in the cheese sauce and make sure that this is really well combined. If you're in a rush, I think this is something that absolutely, once you've given it that mix, once it's all nicely blended together, you could probably just eat it as it is. And to be honest, I'd probably take multiple spoonfuls of it as I go along anyway. But this works well as on its own, but the next step is what takes it to that sort of next level that gives it that cheesy crispiness. So I'm going to pour that into a dish. Make sure that the oven is preheated, probably to about 180 degrees or so. So give that a good mix. Make sure you get all the remaining cheese sauce out. And then for the topping, we're going to add some breadcrumbs. So I've taken the crusty part of just a plain piece of white bread. Any bread would do. If you've got leftover hot dog roll, it would be fine. If you've got leftover sourdough, you've got leftover sliced bread, all of it's fine. A bagel. You just want something to help give the crunch on top of your macaroni cheese. So that looks perfect there from the blender. And then just sprinkle it all the way over your macaroni cheese. And then the final step before popping it into the oven, the remainder of the cheddar cheese that you had, just pour that over the top, sprinkle that over the top, and that's it. That is your macaroni cheese ready for the oven. So pop that into the oven, and you probably want that in there for 15 to 20 minutes until the top starts to go nice and golden brown. So we take that out and look at that. That looks absolutely delicious. So this will feed a family of 4 or 5 on its own, or you, like I said at the start, you could add it as a side to a main course, but I guarantee you, if you try this macaroni cheese, you will absolutely love it. It will be the best version of macaroni cheese you've had, so go ahead, give it a try. Now, if you like this video, and I hope you did, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel. I really hope I'm giving you content that you guys are finding valuable, and both of those means will help me to understand that. So thanks again for watching this video. I will be back soon with more content, but until then, enjoy!